So the Way of War DLC has recently come out, and I've played a good little bit of it. I've gone through all of the new content itself, and I have interacted with the Oathsworn. There are three variations. You have Harmony, Nobility, and you have Strife. Each one of them come with one unique tier 3 unit. With this update, we also get, I believe they said 4 tomes. And yes, I can remember there are 3 tomes. I'm forgetting what the 4th one is. Right here, we can check it out. So we have the Tome of Discipline. This one's pretty good. It's a tier 1. I can show it to you. You get some status resistance. You get a monk who can leap. It's pretty decent. He's okay. Empowered strikes. That's a decent one, depending on the unit that you're using. With the monk, I would say it's pretty alright. This applies, by the way, to skirmisher units. Kind of interesting. I'm not really sure how that works. We get focus aim, which guarantees for 1 turn your attacks, your ranged attacks. And we also have the mantra of purification, which is a lesser version of purifying flame. So I guess it's nice if you want a different version of purifying flame, but you don't want to go into the tome. You also have Tome of Calamity, desecrate lands, accursed armors. This is a really good one. It's kind of a good mixture of a little bit of survivability. No, I mean, it's overall survivability, but those effects right there, Ghostfire is a strange form of offense with it. And then you also get accursed projectiles, so you can have more damage now on your units. We also have Ritual of Calamity there. That is a siege project. And we also get the Calamity Dragon, which is pretty cool to look at. It's a cool unit. I don't think he's really that strong. He can fire this off really far away. 8 spaces. Okay. It's an interesting unit. I've used him and I just don't know. I don't think he's terrible. I just don't know if I'm like that crazy about him. I don't think I'm crazy about most Magic Origin units though. So, but it is a good unit and maybe one of the better of the dragons. We also get one of the worst special provinces in the game, Accursed Shrine. This dog trash is absolutely awful. You have to literally pillage, right? Desolate nearby provinces directly linked to the Accursed Shrine. If you want to get 3 of all these resources, well, there's never really a good time to do that, honestly. I don't know why this is an option. Honestly, they should really rethink this. I don't understand why they made this a special province, but they did. So, anyways, that right there, down here, this is Tome of Calamity. Oh, and before we leave, Tome of Calamity is one of the best damage spells. It's also a debuff, apparently. So you get debuffs associated with it, and it's a mixture of Shadow and Chaos. So you can apply, I believe, Misfortune and or Status Vulnerability with this. That's pretty good. So yeah, and then, by the way, it can freeze and applies 2 stacks of Ghostfire, 2 hexes. Really good, a lot of damage. I mean, just all around. It's really powerful. Right here, with the Oathsworn, we get this trash. First strike, 1 hex radius, defensive masters. It's okay. This right here, based on your devotion, you get extra damage on this spell. It's actually roughly powerful. And then we also get Harmonize on our cultural units, which of course is applied to your devotion. So anyways, I mean, I'm just going to share my thoughts about it. Also, you get special provinces here with this. So I think this one's the best one, the School of Contemplation. I think it's the most powerful. I think the other ones are okay, but they're not really that good. I mean, yeah, if you're looking for mana, I guess, but outside of that, it's not really that impressive. So, down here. So guys, it appears my PR agent just called, and they're demanding out of me that they're going to fire me if I don't inform you that I've written some books. So head on into the video description, do not forget, and check out Charles Arlington on Amazon. It will literally save my life if you just pick up my books and leave a review. And please, for the love of God, save me from my PR agent. They're going to fire me. Yep, so those are 2. Then we have 3. I don't think there's 4. I don't know what the 4th tome has to be the starting tomes, right? That's probably the 4th one. Okay, whatever. Anyway, this is one of the best as well. I mean, the Accursed tome is really good for offense, I would say, for the most part. But I would almost say that this might be the best tome with the update. We get Staves of Grace, which means we get Grace, which means when you get attacked, you heal 10 hit points. It's pretty good. It's a great way of keeping yourself alive. And also, it can stack 5 times. So if you get attacked 5 times, you heal 50 damage. It's really good. A lot of units have this with this update, and it is just... it makes everybody tankier. That's all I can tell you. Okay? You wouldn't think, honestly. I don't think it would. But it actually does. It makes everybody tankier. Okay? Support abilities also grant 1 grace. That's really good. You can stack a lot of grace by doing that. And you also get Cleansing Rain, which is also really good. Yeah, that is... man, that's... I mean... you can dispel, bolster... defense or bolster resistance. You can do stuff like that with this. So that's actually really powerful. It's great offensively and defensively. We also get Blessed Armors. So this applies to your supports. We also get it with our skirmishers and our melee units. Only one of the ranged. I wish that the rangers could get this. For some, rangers are the worst unit in the game. I'm just gonna say it. Okay, they suck, they don't do anything, they don't do enough damage, they don't have enough bonuses. I mean, they are exempt from so many of these unit enchantments. Skirmishers are just better. Anyway, Inner Grace. They get this, they get it every turn, which is really good. And then they also get +2 resistance, so even tankier units, which is really good. Of course, right, Accursed Armor gives you defense. Okay. This is one of the best buff spells now in the game. 2 Grace. This is in a 2 hex radius. 2 Grace, 2 Regeneration for 3 turns. 3 Bolster Defense, and 3 Bolster Resistance. Now, of course, it's off. The offshoot is, of course, this. If the enemy has Cleansing Rain, then this can easily get taken away. Or if they have Disruption Wave, this can easily be dispelled. So, you know, it's good, but there's things that can be done to invalidate this. But set apart and alone, this is a mixture of nature and order. So you can either get, with this, you get +3 fortune, that's crit chance, with this. Or you can get 10 healing out of this with nature. Okay, so this can just do a baseline heal, and then you also get the 2 regeneration, and you get the 2 grace. So you can get basically 22 health, or 22 health with this, and then if you get hit twice, you're healing overall 42 damage, right? And then you also can take a bunch of damage because you have all this resistance. So this is a great way of making multiple units very difficult to kill. And they are, by the way, they are difficult to kill. Garden of Affluence, it's just a way to get more gold and mana, but it's like, it's something I personally, I don't know, man. It's, it can be good, okay? It depends, though. Depends on how you're playing. And then we also get this, which I don't like this. This sacrifices food income so that you can convert food into gold. That's only good if you've maxed out your city. But obviously, getting rid of food is not a good idea. So, like mid and early game. So, I guess this is a late game building, I guess. But what I don't like is that you have to surround it with farms and foresters. And I guess then that gives you extra food, and that's a pretty good number right there, 7. Oh, and it does allow you to build Blessed Dragons, which is a tier 2 unit. It's a support. Radiant Guardians, they're okay. They're decent units. Basically, they trade positions with a unit. So if you have like a melee unit that runs in and does damage, like a warrior, they charge in. This guy can swap places. It does damage. So he can use this as a runaway, or he can use this... Oh, and it can pacify enemies. That's really good. Yeah, that's actually a good one right there. So this guy's roughly strong. I don't know how much I like him, but I would say that and he can get blessed armor, by the way. So yeah, this guy can be really powerful. He's not really that strong though, but he can be. I haven't used him. I mean, if you use a summoner's build with this guy, I can believe that this guy is probably one of the best units to use with a summoner's build. He comes with so much defense, and there's so many ways. Yeah, he doesn't come with a lot of resistance, actually. So maybe that's, he's not that tanky, but for the large part, he's pretty tanky overall. Okay. So anyways, oh yeah, and is that it? Righteous Judge. Yep, I forgot about that biatch. So we got the Righteous Judge right here. It's a tier 4 unit that, it does good damage. It can sunder, of course. And then it has this free ability that can do damage. So if you have a lot of condemned in your builds, this guy can probably hit like a truck. I haven't really seen him be that crazy, but I'm sure that he's pretty decent. And then we get the Prosperity Dragon right here. Pretty tanky, I would say, overall. He's a decent unit. Right here we got this. Pretty good for doing damage. We got Radiant Rebuke. I wonder how much this does with Condemned. I don't know. He can link himself to a unit and take their damage. And at the start of every turn, he gets Grace. So that can be really good. And then he can also, while active, you gain the Recall. And that gives a stack of regeneration. You heal. Consume all Grace stacks. So that can be really good. This guy, he's pretty good at healing. He's good at keeping himself alive, typically. I don't know, though. I don't know if I've really noticed him be that strong. I mean, he is strong early game, I'll tell you that. But I always struggle to tell if these tier 5s are really that strong. So, that's me. Oh, this is the 4th one. Tome of the Shades. How did I forget about... This is the best one. This is the tier 2, and this is one of the best. I mean, this is basically required now. It's so freaking good. This tome, I love it. The Shade unit, bro, is a skirmisher for one. Skirmishers are amazing. I love them. Oh my gosh, man, these guys are freaking strong. There's so many units that you can build, and they all die. When I have Shades in an army, my warrior, or the charging class, whatever they're called, I forget right now. The charge units, they die. Rangers, they die. I haven't really cross-referenced with any defender. There's not really any defender units that I can think of to cross-reference this unit to. I guess Industrious, but okay, I mean, those guys, they can stay alive pretty easily. So anyways, other damaging melee classes, okay, or just damaging classes in general, they die very often, okay? This dude just does not die. I don't know what it is, but Shades have a hard time dying. Maybe it has to do with something, I have no idea, but whatever it is, this is a really good tier 3 unit. I really like them, okay? And let me see here. We got Fatality, Fatal Strike. fatality, increases damage as the target loses hit points, okay? This guy can often do like 80 damage to a target, or it's somewhere between 60 to 80. This guy can hit like a freaking truck when a unit is decently low, you know? So then he also has throw, shadow, dagger. Right here we got blind, it blinds. It's pretty good at keeping ranged units from being able to hit you. Also, that unit cannot perform retaliation attacks, so I did not know that. Blind is good largely for defense, but as a kind of special or added modifier to this attack, and this attack does decent damage. Now, what's really good about this is that you apply blind with this, but then you have shadow blades, which makes it so that melee attacks of enchanted units will ignore 50% of defense and resistance when a target is blinded. So this makes it where a lot of your melee units, oh, your shock unit, that's a charge unit, yeah. Anyways, yeah, I've seen no other unit be as good as the Shade. The Shade does so much damage. Again, he can bypass a bunch of defense, so he can take down tier 5s and 4s really easily. He's just super powerful, and Fatal Strike just has so many benefits with itself. I mean, the guy's good, you know? And then we have Shade Network here. But anyways, one of my favorite units now. This guy is just so good. There's a bunch of units that do not match up to this guy. Yeah, anyway. And I think that's it with this guy. I don't know what other skirmisher you can say maybe matches up to him. I mean, clearly, we could say that the Dragoon Knight matches up to the Shade. But, or maybe is better. I don't know. It's very possible that he's better. But the Dragoon Knight, but the Shade, he's a really powerful unit. I really like the Shade. And by the way, they're not showing you it here, but this guy also has shadowy escape. So if he gets low on health, he will teleport away. Okay? Basically a free slip away without having to die, of course. Because slip away only activates when you die. So anyway, we get Rending Shadows. It's okay. I don't know if it's the most powerful, but it's a decent one. It applies blind to a bunch of units and also sunder defense. So just, I mean, this guy can just freaking nail an entire freaking army to the cross at this point with this. We get the Shade Network. It's a decent way. It's another way to get yourself more knowledge. Sometimes it doesn't give you a lot, but again, it's just another way to get more knowledge, so it's good for that. And then we also have Living Shadows, okay? This is a good minor race transformation. It makes it so that a lot of melee attackers will get blinded if they attack you, so that's really good. And then it also gives you evasion, which is really good if you're trying to go with a defensive build. So now we have a lot more options for defense, you know, on top of the Tome of the Famous and all kinds of stuff, Misfortune. There's so many ways to apply defensive attributes to yourself that makes it so that your enemies are grazing you quite often, and it makes you really difficult to kill overall. Especially with Grace, dude, oh my god. I was doing some of these runs with Grace and with the evasion and with like Tome of the Famous, and I wasn't even using Tome of the Famous, but like if you add that into this, you are impossible to kill when you're applying all these effects, okay? But specifically Tome of the Famous, Tome of the Shades, and then you use the Blessed Armors. That right there, you're so hard to kill. You will be having enemies graze you quite often. You're going to be dodging a bunch of attacks. And then on top of that, you're going to be healing a lot of damage back, okay? And, you know, I tried to do a build and I wasn't able to do it, but I do want to do it at some point in the future if it's necessary. Maybe it's not necessary. You could either go Draconic Transformation, or you could go, where is it? Oh, frickin' end my life right here. Right here. It's over. It's freaking over. Anyways, you can get Whiteborn, right? And with this, you can heal. You can lifesteal, so as you're attacking, you can get a bunch of health. There's a lot of ways to just make it so that you are unkillable. If we're being completely honest. I mean, I think maybe Draconic Transformation is better, because if you focus out ways to increase, buff up your health, then Draconic Transformation can give you a bunch of health. So there's a lot of ways to just make yourself unkillable in the end, okay? Really good stuff. So anyways, those are the tomes, and I'm pretty happy with it. I think the DLC is, you know, some people say it's power creep, which maybe it is. It's kind of hard to tell, because there's a lot of ways to counter build a lot of things, so I don't do a lot of PvP. So I don't know for the people playing PvP if they're feeling a lot of the power creep. I don't know. Can I go up here? Can I just... What's advanced settings? Really? I did not know you could do this. So I can select a look. That's okay. Oh, you can select enchantments? Oh, that's cool. I did not know this. Alright, let's go look at the Oathsworn right here. So, these are the units that we get with this update. So, of course, the best unit in the game, the Scout. This guy is a freaking beast. Look at that. 6 physical damage. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that right there. 0 resistance. 0 defense. 45 health. This guy is capable of cleaving through armies upon armies. This guy is... He's better than ranger units, okay? Zephyr Archer, get out of here. Freaking Glade Runner, get out of here. This guy's the freaking man. This is the man right here. Anyway. So, of course, by the way, we have to be egalitarians, and we have to show women in the roles of men. Women are not warriors, and this is ridiculous to see. This is not a famished society that is killing off all its men. It's ridiculous that we have the Sworn Guard as women. Let's just get that out of the way. Anyways, this unit is okay in the early game. They cannot ride a mount, so whatever. They're okay, you know, 2 defense, 1 resistance. All right, you know, it's harmonize. Oh, that's a different thing. Yeah, I mean, it's a polearm unit, right? It's like, what do you expect? It's okay. Anyways, moving on. Honor Guard, Honor Blade. This guy is a really good fighter unit. Hold on a minute. I mean, this is basically a shock attack. Oh my gosh. This guy's a really good right here. He kind of operates as a shock unit. And he's a really good tier 1 unit. I've actually been able to go into the late game with this guy. He's still alive. He doesn't die. He has a lot of good starting defense, by the way. I mean, they literally gave him, because he's an honor blade, they gave him +1 defense and resistance. This guy is good. He's good, okay? He's not bad. You can go late game with this guy, and he's actually, I mean, I don't know why, but they decided to make this guy a good unit. I don't know what it is. But I don't know how deep you can go, though, into the game with this unit. Maybe you can fight tier 5s with him. Maybe. I mean, what's really good though, right? This does a lot of damage, defensive strike. You can run up on a unit, an enemy unit, you're doing 26 damage, and then you enter defense mode. That is so good. That is so freaking good. Oh, wait. And, wait. I don't, okay, so right, not every unit does this, or, no, never mind. I thought it was like Shield Wall. I thought it was for a second a different version of Shield Wall. That would have just made it even crazier. Anyways, this guy's a good unit. I really actually enjoy him. The Seal Bearer changes based on the version of the Oathsworn that you're using. This is a decent unit. It's not really crazy, but it's a decent mage unit. He has the seal of resonance, which does different things. You know, if you're nobility, strife, or harmony, it's decent. It does good damage. It's a good way, by the way. This is so this does good damage on its own, but then on top of this, this links this unit to another unit, and it guarantees his attacks. So that's really powerful. So as long as he's in range, this guy can do a lot of damage. And this guy, I wonder if you could have a full army with these dudes and the honor blades. And I wonder if you could go into the late game with these guys. I've not done it, but these guys are actually genuinely good low tier units, and typically low tier units are not that good. So I don't know, man. I have my thoughts about it. And by the way, he does come with a mixture of damage, and that's a good thing too. So I mean, this is a now of course he can't ride a mount. These guys can. These guys can also ride mounts. So you can get graceful judges the mount, which allows you to apply once per combat. You can apply grace to units. So I mean, there's so many things that can just make the honor blade a really good unit. Okay. We have the Peacebringer, which is a dog trash unit. It's again, rangers suck. Now he can be decent, but again, it's a ranger unit. Now he has a lot of nice things in his kit, as you can see here. He has the line shot, which is really nice. It's a good way of doing a lot of damage. You can apply a lot of status effects by doing this. And then we also get the Paragon. Once you reach maximum level with the Oathsworn, your specific variation of the faction, you can get Harmonize, which allows you, or I'm sorry, the max Paragon level of Harmonize, which allows you, when you reach beneath 60% health, you heal 30 hit points. Really good. And then this unit gets a buff with that, okay? Once you hit the maximum level for your devotion, he gets the Arrow of Harmony, which has a very high chance of pacifying a unit. So this can pacify right here. Tier 5s, Tier 4s, it's pretty good. It does decent damage. And overall, you know, it's a good way of locking down enemy units. And basically giving you, if you have a full army of these guys, I guess you could give yourself a free turn by using this attack. So it's really good in that way. And again, you can turn this into 7 tiles that you can fire it away from, okay? So if you get the Seeker Arrows upgrade from the Tome of Wind or whatever, so it's pretty good. It's a good unit for like what it's intended to do, but it doesn't do a lot of damage. I mean, I had one playthrough where this guy, I could not do damage with him to save my life, and I was suffering. This unit sucks, but you know, if you can get things to work out for you, if you can get your maximum Paragon level, then okay, it's okay as a unit, but it's not really that good regardless, okay? So anyways, we get the Warbound unit, which I think is a trash unit. Every time I used him, he would just die. Compared to the Shade never dies. This guy, he dies all the time. So I don't know what it is, because you feel like he should be good, but he's not. So right here, you get extra fire damage per hex traveled. Okay, so that's extra 15 damage. That should be really good. That should be a lot of damage. He also gets Bulldoze, which allows him to do a little bit of damage, and from a far range away. Okay, yeah, 4 hexes it is. So basically, you can teleport onto a unit, and then which can open up a flanking attack, by the way, and you can attack them from behind with this guy. So theoretically, this guy should do massive damage, and he has the potential to do good damage. But the AI is retarded with this unit, and that's the major issue. The AI, for whatever reason, will not always, most of the time it will, but not always will it make sure that because when you bulldoze, you land 4 spaces away from where you start. So that means you have to line it up. So if you don't line it up correctly, This guy will just bulldoze past a unit, he will do crappy damage, and he will not use his charge strike. Effectively throwing away a turn with this unit. So theoretically he is good, but if you screw this up, this ability here, I mean, this ability is really good for getting him into combat. If he gets into combat, I think he does good damage, basically guaranteed to do a lot of flanking attacks, especially in the first turn of combat. He could do a bunch of damage, you know. He runs up, he bulldozes, he's right behind an enemy unit, he gets a flank attack with a bunch of extra damage. All of that right there, this guy should be probably the best unit. But when I was using him, again, it just seemed like he wasn't that good. So, I mean, maybe if you are manually using this unit, then maybe this guy is really powerful, okay? Because he is a shock unit, and he gets the bonus that gives him a lot of damage, but it's really up in the air. I just don't know, man. I have no idea if this guy's good or bad. I just know that for myself, he's a dog trash unit, but he's better than the Peacebringer, I can tell you that. So, he gets the Paragon of Strife. This is the Infernal Blaze. So you use this, you run up on enemies, he does damage around himself. It's pretty alright, and I mean, it's not really that powerful. It's 18 damage. Yeah, I never really saw it be that good. But it gives you 3 Infernal Might, which of course boosts your fire damage even further. So, yeah, and it's a melee and magic ability, so maybe it gets melee and magic enchantments. I don't know about that, but maybe it does, and maybe that makes it a little bit better. And by the way, Strife, this is what they get for their culture with their devotion. So, your base attacks deal extra damage when the attacker, this unit, is not outnumbered. So you need to make sure that when you're playing as Strife, you're always outnumbering your enemy. So it's really important to get kills, and it's really important that you don't walk into fights without a 3 stack. Which, you know, when I played these guys, I was only using 2 full stacks of units in my armies. So I was missing an entire 6 units, so I did not actually get this fire buff damage that often, okay? Alright, you trash can clowns, I had to put this video on frickin' halt for this. Listen, as you all know, everybody knows, I am a freaking author. Go ahead into the video description. If it's not there, there's a link. Should be a link. Anyway, if it's not there, just again, reminder, Charles Arlington, search it up on Amazon and just pick up one of my books, leave a rating and review, would mean a whole lot. And thank you, you trash can clown queers. But of course, if you do have this buff of fire damage, you know, it makes your units do a lot of damage, man. It's really crazy. But again, I was screwing myself over in that playthrough. But regardless, I mean, I was still getting through just fine because the Shade is a really good unit. So, anyway. This right here is the best unit that they added with this update. Oh, I'm sorry. We have the Valkeeper. Valkeeper is the best. Maybe right next to the War Shaman, but this is the best. Oh yeah, so the War Shaman's group heal is only every 3 turns. This right here is every 2 turns. So this guy gets to heal your allied units a lot more often. This is a really good heal. 1 hex, 25 hit points, really powerful. From 4 spaces away, that's really good. He also gets the Vow of Purification, which is a really good dispel. It's really good. And then it gives you also, and it's every turn that you can use this, and it gives your unit 3 status protection. Really powerful. Especially for a support, and I really like this support unit. He also has Purging Blast, which is, you know, it's good for what it is, okay? Anyways, really good support unit, maybe the best one now, or the War Shaman is right next to him, I don't know. Anyways, this is the best shock unit though. This guy is freaking amazing. He does a lot of damage, just a lot, he's really good. And then he also has Helm Splitter, so this is typically a 2nd turn attack that you will do. 50 damage, and it ignores defense and resistance. This guy is freaking insane. And then on top of it, but just, I mean, honestly, his charge strike alone does a bunch of damage. So, anyway. With nobility, you get bonus spirit damage, but you cannot be flanking. So nobility is a weird faction because they don't want you to flank if you want the extra damage. So, you know, I haven't really been able to experiment too much with it because I keep on flanking with my units. And when I was doing this build, I kept on flanking. So, I mean, that's on me, right? Anyway, maybe it's a good damage bonus. I don't know. And then with your Paragon level of devotion, right here you get Radiance Slash, which does spirit damage, which I assume with Condemned, this does a bunch of damage. I don't know if it does, I don't know if it doesn't, but if you're condemning a unit, then that has to be doing double damage, right? So that's 50 damage as I understand. So it has the potential to do 50 damage, as I understand, if the unit's condemned. I never tested it out, but it does decent damage. Something that's interesting, by the way. So the auto combat will optionally use this Arrow of Harmony, okay? This ability right here, the Arrow of Harmony. It typically uses the ability, but sometimes it doesn't. The auto combat. The auto combat is really trash with the Warbound unit. And it doesn't really, I don't know if it really uses the Infernal Blaze that much. It doesn't seem to be that good if it does use it, the unit. The auto combat becomes addicted to using Radiant Slash though. And this is a really good ability. It hits a lot of units in a pretty decent arc. And this guy will use it often. It has the ability to blind a bunch of units. It's both a melee and a magic, and I believe it has the potential to also stun units. I forget how, but as I remember, I think it can stun units too. I don't know where, I don't know how that was happening actually. Maybe that's from Empowered Strikes. It might be from that. I don't know. I have no idea. Anyways, as I remember, you are able to stun units using this ability right here. That's what I remember. Maybe I'm wrong. Anyways, it's a good ability. I don't know if it's overpowered, but it's pretty strong, everything considered. So, I like it for what it's worth. Okay, so also, by the way, we get accursed units with this update. So, let me see here. Can I search it? Can I just see accursed? Am I allowed to do that? Okay, so we can do accursed. Okay, well, yeah, so let's check these guys out. Okay, so right here you have the accursed ogre. And they come with the accursed fiend unit type. A new unit. Oh my gosh, you piece of trash. So it comes with this plus 2, 5. Man, lightning, bro. Lightning does damage to so many units in this game. It's ridiculous. I mean, that is just the king of damage types, really. But anyway, you get accursed body, which inflicts ghost fire. You know, it's kind of disappointing because we did not get a major transformation with this update. Now, of course, we got a lot of good enchantments that basically fulfill accursed body for us, which, you know, that's through accursed armor. I don't know, though. It would have been nice if we actually got a transformation, but whatever. Maybe they will make up for that in the future with other DLCs. I'm hoping they do, because otherwise it's pretty disappointing. We have the Accursed Blade. He's an okay unit, too. You know, I think the Accursed units, they're relatively, they're strong, okay? This right here is pretty good. He can freeze a bunch of units. That's really powerful. He's a good tier 3. I don't know how good. I haven't really used him that much because I don't really use a lot of these units, but this unit right here is pretty cool. Kind of freaky to look at, right? Maddening Phantasm. So you inflict a bunch of damage and also make a unit insane. I guess that's good, maybe. I don't know. Duplicity. Ah, it creates a clone. Oh, okay. So, okay. Has astral reflection. So that's really good for keeping the unit alive. Okay. And then we, of course, we have this is what the dragon looks like. Really cool. Really cool to look at. So, really good design on these dragons. I can show you the prosperity as well. I forget. How do they classify the other units? It's not Infernal Fiend. It's not... Is it Ethereal? Or is it Celestial? Let's see. We're gonna find out together. Hand in hand. Totally not gay. Alright, well, I'm not gonna try this way. It's kind of annoying. Oh, maybe it's dragon. Because it is a dragon. Alright. Some of these guys. So this right here is the Blessed Dragon. It's a really cool unit. I like the way it looks. It's not really that crazy as a unit. It's just, you know, it's a unit. Yeah, this right here, this is Radiant Guardian. I think they look really good, by the way. I think the design of them is actually pretty creative. And maybe it's also pretty authentic towards Asian culture, whatever Asian culture there is. Have fun with your culture. I don't know what it is. Chinese? Okay, it's Chinese. Basically a Pegasus or something. Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's like the king of Pegasi. What is this? What does this do? Cannot make flanking attacks. That's interesting. And then we have the Prosperity Dragon, which of course is really cool as well. Yep, so it's a lot of good things with this update, and that's not the end of it. Let's also take one more look at something else. So by the way, they did also with this update, they did change the skill tree on a lot of heroes. Damage works differently now, and I don't know how they changed it, but it feels like enemies, even when you're playing on Brutal, it feels like damage was balanced in a way where you as a player, you still do a lot of damage, but the enemy still does a lot of damage too. So I don't know, it kind of looks like they kind of rebalanced it so that everyone's doing roughly equal damage. Even if you're playing on Brutal difficulty, there's a lot of things that you can do to make yourself suffer, and you do no damage to anyone, like I had with one of my playthroughs where I just couldn't do anything and I don't know what the frick was going on. But then you can also have a playthrough where you're doing just as much damage as the enemy. So it's still, I mean, your units are going to be glass cannons, but it keeps it competitive for yourself as a player. So anyway, yeah, the Pyre Templar, I don't know if I really thought that unit was that great when they added him in the last update. I don't know if he's good. I don't know, man. I don't know. I wasn't really that impressed. This guy's good, by the way. The monk is a decent unit. He does not use this ability when he should. I've seen it happen many times where he should be healing himself. You know, you just need one action point. He will be nearly dead. He will be running away from the enemy. And then he ends his turn going into defense mode rather than using meditate. Makes no sense. I do not get it. Theoretically, though, a good unit. Again, you know, he gets extra damage. He gets combo damage. So on his third attack, he does extra damage. And then you can leap, which is really good, right? You can guarantee for yourself 3 strikes on a lot of enemies. I think I should use this guy a little bit more often. I don't think I use him enough. I mean, you know, I'm a freaking hoe bag for tier 3 units, you know? So, yeah, this is the Shade, of course. It's a cool unit. Basically Shinobi. Yeah, right there. So he has Slippery, Swift, Inbuilt, and Shadowed Escape. It's pretty good, man. It's really a good unit, so I'm happy with it for sure. Alright, well what the frick are you? Well, good luck with that. We also get some new buildings, like the Accursed Shrine, which is dog trash. We got the Shrine of Prosperity. We also got some other trash, but honestly, I don't care. So, anyways, you know, it's pretty cool. I think the Oathsworn are pretty powerful. and I like what they did with this update. For the most part, I don't know if it's like the best update out of all the updates they've done. I think that the Eldritch update was kind of good and also a little bit underwhelming. I think that the Primal Fury update yeah, there's also the Paragon Corridors. This is pretty good. This is a nice defensive building. Yeah, but I think the Primal Fury DLC might be my favorite so far, just because of all the things that it adds. It gave us, I mean, no. You know what? I'll just say this. I enjoy many aspects of all of the updates. The Eldritch update was really good for what it was worth. It's just, I don't know. I think I've had some thoughts about this. You know, I think it would be really cool if we could make like mega provinces, so we can expend 4 provinces to make a super province. That would be really cool. I think there's just a lot of things that I would like to further see out of this game. I would like to see just more expansions on, I guess you could say, the base content of the game and the base gameplay loop. I don't know. I don't want to get ahead of myself saying anything, okay? Like, I like it. I appreciate it. I guess I'm just kind of like, I don't know. There's something strange about when I played Planetfall. I thought a few things about that game where I just really enjoyed a lot of the aspects that they had for that game. You know, like Planetfall, the updates, the DLCs, it just felt like there was something that always felt like it changed the game fundamentally. And I'm not saying that Planetfall was perfect. There's a lot of things that pisses me off about the game, but I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, I like these updates. I like the DLC. There's just something that feels like Planetfall did certain things with its DLCs. It felt like the game was always kind of transforming with every update. I don't know why it felt that way. With this game, it just, we're getting a lot more content to the same game. That's all I really have to say about it. It's not like I hate the game or whatever the frick, you know. It's just weird. It's a passing thought that I've had with all of this DLC. But yeah, anyways, they added classes to, I can show you a little bit here before we close out. So they added classes up here. You can see it. They added classes, which and they made changes to the governors too. Now there's specific types of governors with specific renown levels. You do certain things to level up the renown, and then that levels up your governor bonuses on that hero. You can't select which governor you want. It's randomized, and then on top of that, it's also randomized the class on your heroes. So you cannot select freely the class of your heroes, which I am not a fan of whatsoever. I wish I could select the class of my heroes. So that's a huge problem. So, I mean, you got to be careful, right? It's like if you select a ritualist, you better stick with it. If you select a defender, stick with it. Ranger, stick with it. Warrior, mage, and by the way, who is the most powerful of the classes, you might ask? Easily the mage. Easily the mage. The mage is now the most overpowered freaking class in the game. Super powerful, super good, bunch of damage. Ranger has the potential to do good damage. It's kind of up in the air, but largely does good damage. But they're not, man, when you have a mage on your team, you feel the mage. You feel the damage. You feel the power. I would tell you, go with lightning evocation. I think that one's the best one. I think that one's absolutely the best one. And get mass curse if you select the curse, okay? Really strong, really powerful. Just, oh my gosh, the amount of damage that these guys are pumping out is absolutely insane. Outside of that, mage, I would say then it goes maybe warrior. I've seen the warrior do good damage. It's kind of hit or miss, depending on your build, depending on where you go with it. But you can do a lot of damage with the warrior class variant, okay? Then I would say maybe the ranger is either above the warrior or beneath, below the warrior. Really depends on how you build out the ranger. I do not understand. The ranger right now, I'm having a really hard time. Because I want to believe that the ranger is really powerful. I want to believe that the ranger can, because the ranger does do a lot of damage, but it's like, whether you do scatter shot, whether you do snapshot, whether you do true shot, I don't know how you do a lot of damage with the ranger, honestly. It's kind of tough for me. I'm having a tough time with it. I don't know if the ranger is good or bad. I cannot tell you. I can only tell you that the mage feels like a freaking powerhouse, okay? That's all I can tell you. And now, by the way, they removed killing momentum out of the items that you create, and now the only person that can get killing momentum is the warrior class. So that's also something to keep in mind. That kind of sucks. I'm not a huge fan of it. The only way to get killing momentum now for all of your units is through the Tome 5 of Chaos, okay? Outside of that, you also get the Ritualist, which is you basically just turn. You could go Summoner with this, the Ritualist, but really the Summoner, there's not much going on there. No, I don't think it's worth it. Maybe it's powerful. I don't know. I don't think it is. I don't see it. I don't see that's powerful. But I will tell you this. The Ritualist has an upgrade path for being a healer. Basically a dedicated healer. When you attack, you heal your nearby units. You also get access to shrubbery that can provide defense to both defense and resistance, and it gives regeneration, and it heals, and again, it obscures your unit, making them harder to hit, okay, in a 1 hex radius. And you still have a free action point, so you can attack, or you can use prayer, and you can also have a free version of prayer, so that you can use both the undergrowth ability, and you can use prayer on 1 unit, and you can use this every turn, and then you can attack, and your attacks can heal, okay? The Ritualist is a really good hero subtype, okay? But you're not going to be doing a lot of damage. Or it's a really good hero class, okay, the Ritualist. I don't think that the Summoner route with the Ritualist is that good, but I mean, I guess it's, I don't know, I didn't really use it, so it's like, maybe it's okay, but I kind of doubt it. Anyway, whatever. Outside of that, okay? But I mean, you could use this guy, the Ritualist, with a Summoner's build, and maybe it would be really powerful. I could see that. Anyway. Ritualist is a really good healer. And I honestly believe that if you use the Ritualist, your units have a very difficult time dying, okay? The Ritualist is that strong when it comes down to healing. But you yourself, as the Ritualist, you're not going to be getting a lot of kills, like, ever, okay? But that is the thing, man. If you want to do a tanky build, then I would say, yeah, do the Ritualist. I think a tanky build with the Ritualist, you are probably undefeatable. Maybe. I would say that okay, so here's one of the other things, because also the prayer can also, as I remember, it can dispel any kind of negative status effects. So there's just so much to all this that makes the Ritualist really powerful, really strong. And me personally, I really enjoy this class. For that one reason, if you're trying to go tanky, if you want to be absolutely unkillable. And here's the thing, I need to do a build where I only use ritualists, because right now I'm largely only using mages. Sometimes, by the way, the defender class is garbage. I don't like it. Maybe it's okay for like, if you want to be defensive and maybe never die, but I don't think it's good, honestly. I think it's terrible. So, I mean, maybe you want to have a ritualist in the same army as a defender, and maybe they both work together in such a way that makes it really difficult to kill either or. I could see that. And so again, I think maybe I'm going to do another playthrough where maybe I only build ritualists, or I only build defenders and ritualists together. Whatever it is, it's good for what it is, but I just wouldn't say that it's really that powerful in the end. But I mean, again, if you want to be tanky, I think that you can definitely go ritualist and probably never lose a unit. I'm pretty confident in saying that. So it's pretty strong, the ritualist, for what it's worth. And I think that's all the classes. I don't think there's any other class, but yeah, so it's mage. This is why I would say it is. It's mage, maybe warrior, or ranger, or maybe they're tied, honestly, the ranger and the warrior, because I can't tell. And then it goes ritualist, and then it goes defender. That's pretty much what we have right now. I forget. I don't think there's another class. Yeah, I don't think there is. So anyways, that's it. That's the update. We got a bunch of new units. I think a lot of the units are cool. A lot of them are good. I think some of them are a little bit lackluster, or some of them, the AI is just retarded with them. But outside of that, I think the Ways of War DLC, I think it adds a lot. I do enjoy the content that it brings. It doesn't add any new wonders or some other things, but we do get some new... Right here.
Choose your destination.
We do get some new... where can I find it? Where can I find it? Should I just do this? We do get some new realm traits with this as well. And some of the realm traits are kind of interesting. So we got a new happening. Basically, someone takes over one of the other rulers, the AI rulers on the map, and you have this kind of chain quest that you can follow, that you either free that ruler and you turn them into a vassal, or you can do other things and just destroy them, whatever. We also got unbound tomes, and we also got this right here. We got sworn rivalry, which isn't really that crazy, but it's it's another trait to start a realm with. We also got the accursed fiends right here and prosperity units. We also got tropical realms. We can now use this. This was available before this update, but now they made it available. They also added blossom orchards as resource nodes. It's food and production together. So that's pretty much it.
Choose your destination.
Anyway, man, that's the DLC. I'm looking forward to the next one, and this one was okay, but obviously, the next one is going to be about giants. So that could be really cool, and I'm hoping they do some really cool stuff with it. I'm hoping that we can do something like mega provinces. Maybe you can start building on mountains. That would be cool. I don't know, like, if we change, I think, the world map in some way in the next DLC, I think that would be a really cool way to go with this game. That's kind of where I'm at. I want to see the world map change a little bit more. Like the world map itself, not like adding the Umbral Abyss, which is a cool addition, by the way. Sometimes annoying to play with, but for the most part, it's cool. I liked it. You know, I mean, I've liked every single update. I think I just want to see a little bit more changes on the world map. And the underground. The underground feels very underbaked as a feature of this game, and I would like to see them actually flesh it out a little bit more and make it a little bit more fun to play underground. Because right now, if you try to focus a city underground, you're gonna hate your life. That's just a simple truth. The underground sucks for cities. So anyways, those are all my thoughts. And I will, I guess, see you for the next DLC video. I don't know, or not. Who knows? Anyways, that's enough for us here. Alright guys, listen. I mean, you've heard me talk about this a couple of times, but like, Seriously, I'm an author, so like go into the video description. You will find, or somewhere, I don't know, look me up, Charles Arlington on Amazon. All right. If you don't do this, I am going to die. All right. I need you to pick up my books and I need you to leave a rating and review. If you don't do this, it's literally Armageddon. Freaking Fenrir's gonna show up and eat us all. You need to do something about this quickly.